So in the next hour, we say that if ggplot is good because it can actually turn data into graphical representation for better observation. Right? But there's a problem, right? When the data is really, really big, okay, it's very difficult. Even you map that into a graph, it's still very difficult to use. So interactivity is a very good tool, right? So we need to learn in ggplot. In the old days, the ggplot only produced static graph, okay? So it cannot, you don't really have these interactivities in the ggplot by itself, okay? But if we can, there's a tool called ggplotly, okay? It belongs to the plotly package. When you load this package, you can use, you can turn, first of all, you can change this ggplot. You can set the ggplot into an object name, okay? And then if you give the graphical object to a ggplotly, it actually render interactive, okay, graph for you, okay? So interactive graph, as you can see, it's a lot more useful than static plot, isn't it? So the power of the modern visualization is this interactivity. And the way to use interactivity is very easy. You simply use include the ggplotly package and give your ggplot, right? Call this function, and the static ggplot will become an interactive plot. Okay. Now let's take a closer look at the code that we are used to generate this plot. Okay. So now first of all, there's D, right, and we group by publisher, and then we do a top N, right? See that? So it means that by publisher, I want to choose 100 character with the largest number of appearance. Okay, so group by publisher and top N 100 appearance. It means that for each publisher, I want to pick out only 100 character with the largest number of appearance. Now this is important, right? When you have like thousands, tens of thousands of subjects to observe, usually you only want to observe like the top 20, the top 100 or top 200, something like that, right? So this is filtering, right? Okay. So usually you will use the dplyr to do some filtering, right? So you can like look into the important subjects. Otherwise, you have like 2,000 subjects, you cannot observe anything at all, right? So do a filtering is important. So after you do the filtering, now we have a data frame of 200 points, right? Only 200 subjects. And then you can actually pipe this data frame into ggplot. See that? Okay. So you pipe this data frame into ggplot, and then you do the mapping, right? Here we are doing the mapping. We map year, appearance, sex, align as the x coordinate, y coordinate, color, shape. Okay? And then this label is for this purpose. Because afterward, when I move over one point, I want to see the character's name, right? Okay, so the label is for this purpose. Okay, so I can see the character's name. Okay. Now, I use, in the y-axis, I use log 10, and I do a facet. This facet is actually, we already see that in previously, right? It actually split the data into, split different publisher into different panel, okay? And then as you can see that we want to use point plot, and alpha equal to 0.6. Alpha is actually transparency, okay? So even though that we have only have 100 points, there was some overlay, right? So when you expect that the point would be overlaid, it's a good idea to use some transparency, okay? And this transparency do not need to map into data, right? Okay, so the transparency is kind of like a fixed attribute of the data point. So we write this fixed attribute here, and the thin black Y is just to choose the background color, okay? If I do not choose background color, it will be a gray background, okay? Black and white means that the background color I want to like do this. And then this one is actually just to adjust the font size of this font. See that? Okay. So as I told you that ggplot, it has a lot of flexibility and I cannot cover everything. Okay. So if for some reason you want to like change the font size, you can use this. Okay. And this is to change the title, right? The most appearances is actually specify this graph title, right? And X and Y. Here I don't need to have a X label and Y label, right? In case you want to have a X label and Y label, you can put the X label and Y label here, okay? Again, if you want, you need to have some color represent sex and shape represent, you can actually have this legend title. But in this case, I don't need this title, so I put them into empty string. See that? Okay. So basically, if you don't care about the appearance too much, you basically only need this line of code and also this line of code, isn't it? And for the rest of the code, it's just to enhance the appearance of the graph, okay? So now you may have a question saying that how can I learn everything, right? There is a ggplot course in data camp, right? It's not mandatory, but if you are interested with the ggplot, you can actually, let me show you. In our website, right, there is a thing called community, and besides community, there's a code called learning map. Besides this learning map, there's a R, analytics and statistics, right? If you go to here, there is a self-study learning map, online learning map, okay? So if you are interested in more dplyr and ggplot, okay, there's a series of courses that you can consider, okay? This one you already take it in your as your homework assignment, okay, last time. And this course you can actually follow, okay? If you are interested in ggplot and dplyr and you want to learn more about them, these are the courses that I would suggest. This one, this one, this one, and this one, okay? As long as you have, in this semester, all of these courses are free, okay, for you. It's only in this semester, okay? So, so if you want to have more experience about this course, you actually can go to this page and follow this thread. Okay? Get it? Okay. In the classroom, I cannot like cover everything because of time, right? Okay. So now you can see, now you can experience the power of modern visualization, right? So, and this is the basic way that we do the visualization. Usually we use dplyr to manipulate the data, do some filtering, do some summary, okay? So that the data can be summarized in the way of our interest, okay? And then you push the data into ggplot, okay? And use this ggplot, you start to map the subject of our interest into an element, right? Into a point, okay? And then you map the attribute of your interest as its coordinate, right? Its XY coordinate, its color, its shape, its size, okay? And then you set the plot, and then give the object, give the graph data object to Plotly. Plotly will generate a very nice interactive plot for you. Okay, so you can do a lot of things. For example, we can very easily answer this question, right? Who are the most appearing character in the DC and Marvel? It's quite easy, right? For Marvel, it's Spider-Man. For who is the most appearing character in DC? Can you see that? Most appearance, so we are looking for the highest point, right? So in Marvel, it's Spider-Man. So who is the most appearing character in DC? Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man. Okay. So if I want to see the most appearing female character, okay, so I can actually hide all of the male character. So the most appearing female character in DC is this one, Wonder Woman. Okay, so with this interactivity, you can actually use the data. You can see the data in the graph, right? Very nicely, isn't it? Okay. So, so actually, the interactive chart can actually help you zoom in and zoom out. For example, if I only want to see, I can actually zoom in, okay? And I can actually, if I double click, I'll zoom out, okay? So you zoom in, you can see the detail. You zoom out, you can see the structure, isn't it? Okay? So, the power of interactive visualization is very important in today's data exploration. Okay, and that comes to, and this is a good time to discuss our midterm. Okay, in our midterm, I want you to use the dplyr and actually ggplot package to analyze and visualize the Tafan data, okay? The grocery store data set that I get to you, okay? If you go to the Tafan folder, you should see a lot of, right? This is data preparation. And the second thing is for data exploration. And there's a notebook that doing customer value. There's sample notebook to explore the product information, things like that, right? Okay, so if you follow this notebook, okay, do the analysis on the Tafan data, you should have a good idea about how the business status the grocery store is, right? You will have a better understanding about the business status, the business situation of that grocery store. Okay? So I want you to apply what we have learned so far to the Tafan data. Okay? And you can like use the technique we have learned and use this 4 sample notebook as the foundation, and try to do some more exploration on the data, and then you can present your finding with graph, with interactive graph, right, within your notebook. Okay, and for each group, I want you to prepare a 12 minutes, okay, a 12 minutes presentation. Okay, got it? You got it? Okay. Use what we have learned, right? And use this sample notebook as your reference, right? Try to do some exploration. Try to understand the business situation of Tafan, okay? Communicate your finding with interactive graph, okay? And then do some strategic, and try to do some strategic recommendation to the grocery store, okay? For example, I want to like focus on this product or this product category, okay? I want to focus on this customer group, all right? And when I say that I want to focus on this customer group, I should already know that in average, this group has the repurchase probability is like 35%, and I want to raise the repurchase the probability from 35% to 45%, okay? Or I want to increase its average buying amount from $500 to $600, right? Okay, you choose your focus, right? Choose your focus for marketing campaign, right? You set the objective, right? You want to improve its buying probability, or you want to improve its buying amount, right? For some scale, and then you can determine if you reach your objective, how much more revenue you can acquire, how much more profit you can achieve, right? By doing that, right? So this is something like using data to understand your business situation, and according to that business situation, you want to do some strategic planning, right? Okay, so, and you want to estimate, if you achieve your strategic objective, how much performance improvement you will acquire, right? Quantitatively, right? Try to do an exercise like this, okay? And prepare a 12 minutes presentation to do that, okay? Now, the time of midterm, I'll plan to do that in It's this week, right? This week. I think we can do that in the week of November the 7th. Is that good for you? Good? Okay. This week we are actually focused on ggplot. Okay. And next week I will do some. I'll try to walk you through the. I'll try to walk you through the sample notebook for Tafang. Okay. And then for the following week, I will teach you some clustering methods. Okay, so you sometimes you want to like if you learn marketing, there's a thing called segmentation, right? Sometimes you want to group customer by their behavior, right? In the data set, there's a column called age group. There's a column called area, right? But sometimes you can use this, you can kind of like segment the customer in this already existing data, right? And sometimes you want to segment your data. You want to like group your data, clustering your data, clustering your customer with by their buying behavior. It's actually more useful, right? If I can actually group my customer by the time that they are going to the store, by the product they buy, right? If for sometimes you like to like group the customer with similar behavior together, right? So you can design a specific campaign to address their need, to address their interest, okay? And that specific campaign would actually be more efficient, right? Than just doing a campaign, a general campaign for general people, right? In modern days, when we are doing marketing, we would like to have a specific campaign designing for a group of targeted customer, right? And that group of customer has better have the similar behavior, isn't it? Right? How to do that? Because in our raw data, we don't really have that column, right? So we need to have some technique, try to help us, like group your data, right, into a similar members of groups, okay? So that is what I want to do in the week of October 31st, okay? And you would actually use all of this knowledge, all of this technology. You can try to apply all of them in your midterm presentation. How about that? Okay? This presentation would concentrate on the Tafang data set. So we are talking about this grocery store. Okay?
So do we have any previous examples or samples from the
You can use the previous previous technology, right? You can use previous package or something. Whatever we learn, you can apply in this midterm. But this midterm need to apply to the Tafang grocery store data. You cannot jump out of the Tafang grocery data and like, for example, you cannot like do your midterm with the comic data set That's not what we want to do, right? We want to focus on the Taiwan data set.
So we can choose any topics that we want to discuss about the top data set.
Right. Whatever you want to present in your midterm, we want to present it, focus on this Taiwan data set. Okay? So any question about the midterm? The day is good for you, right? Okay. See, in the first half of this semester, I want to focus on the data exploration and strategic planning. Okay? We do data exploration. The purpose of data exploration is to standing in a higher level to understand the business situation. Okay? You want to see that from the data, you want to see the phenomenon. You want to see the important phenomenon, structure, trend, right, within the data. And then according to this finding, right, you want to do strategic planning. Okay? That's what we want to do in the first half of our course. Okay? In the second half of our course, we will go into a tactic thing. Okay? You set a strategic goal, it will not realize, it will not fulfill itself, right? You need to do something to, for example, you want to do a campaign so that you can improve the buying probability, okay? You want to do some campaign so that you can increase the buying amount, isn't it? Right? So in the second half of the course, right, we'll focus on this operational campaign stuff, the design of the campaign, the target of the campaign, the cost effectiveness of the campaign, right? That's what we want to focus on in the second half of the course. For the first half, we are focused on data exploration, the business situation assessment, the strategic planning type of things. Is that clear? Yeah?
So when will the presentation be?
Sorry?
The presentation, when will it be?
It will be November the 7th.
November 7th.
Yeah. I will update these things. Okay, I'll update these things after today's class. Got it? Okay. Okay. So today we are going to finish ggplot2, and next week we are going through the Taiwan reference notebooks. Okay. So, and then the week after that, we are talking about some clustering techniques. Okay. And then it's your midterm. Okay. Now let's move on. Let's go back to the ggplot folder. Oh, sorry, in this course we do not have a textbook, right? So I told you a lot of times, right? The most important thing is this notebook. Okay, so from time to time, when you want to do something, do some business analytic, usually you can find find one of this notebook that for your task, right? Just pull out this notebook, just replace the data, and then it would be a lot easier for you to get started, right? So if you need to write everything from scratch, it's very difficult to do that, right? So this notebook is very important. So I want you to keep it, right? Keep it and make sure you understand how to use them, right? And for the rest of the actually, visualization can do a lot of things, right? And as a matter of time, I cannot cover everything in classroom, okay? So if you have time, I recommend you to take a look at this, the rest of the notebook. For example, in this graph, what we do is actually we separate every point is actually eye and hair combination. Okay, for example, this dot, it represent let me see. It represent red hair and green eye. Okay, for this one it's black hair and blue eye. Okay, and for this one is brown hair and blue eye. Okay, so for different appearance, I and the size of the bubble is the number of group, the size of the group. Okay, so the white hair and blue eye only have very little people, and brown hair, brown eye, they have a lot of people here, right? So, and the x-axis is the proportion of bad guys, okay, and the y-axis is the proportion of dead, okay. So, and the color represent the proportion of female. See, you can see that. So if I want to explore the proportion of bad, proportion of death, and proportion of sex, right, by different appearance, I can do it this way, right? So I can, in one graph, I can compare the different appearance group, right? So I can compare their proportion of bad, proportion of death, and also the sex composition, right? For example, it's very clear that I can see that the red hair and green eye, okay, they have a very, very high proportion of female. Okay, you can see that, right? Because it's the red color, right? So this red hair and green eye group, they has a very, very high percentage of female, right? Okay, and for this one, black hair and brown eye, for some reason, most of them are good people, right? Because the proportion of bad are low, right? And the proportion of deaths are also low, right? So this group of people, they have a low percentage of casualty and a very low percentage of bad guys, okay? And in the other side, I can see that for black hair and black eye people, right? Well, in average, they have a higher casualty rate and higher bad people, okay? And most of them are actually male, right? Isn't it? Okay. So in this graph, I want to demonstrate that this bubble plot or point plot is a very good tool to compare multiple subjects, multiple attributes in a single graph, right? Multiple group, multiple attribute in a single graph, okay? So the point graph is very useful, and if you actually you can actually make it move, okay? We don't have time to cover the code, but as you can see that the code is not too complicated, right? It's still a dplyr, right? Still a dplyr that summarize, manipulate, group by data, okay? And then you push this data frame, right, into ggplot, okay? And then the difference is that in this ggplotly, you actually do some animation, okay? Because they are doing animation, right? So you will need to specify the frame, okay? Frame is actually, it's kind of like, because I'm doing this plot by period, right? See? So you need to generate your data frame period by period, okay? And when you have a series of data frame, and you can actually use this animate feature to make it movable, okay? You can play. See? Okay? So in today's R environment, it actually can do this very fancy interactive chart. Actually quite easy, right? You simply have a frame column, and then you actually just specify the animation, okay? And the ggplotly would do this. It's still interactive, right? You can still zoom in and zoom out. See that? So you can see, you can compare, yeah.
What does the 600 mean in the animation of OPTS?
Oh, actually, this 600 is called, it's 600 millisecond. It means how fast the animation will go.
How fast
Yeah, how fast. If I put it like 2000, and every step is like 2 seconds. Okay. So I do not have too much time to go into the detail, but I just want you to experience the power of modern interactive visualization. Okay? So from time to time we will have some starting group, right? For visualization, I think it's very difficult to like, if I want to teach this visualization in detail, it will become another course already, right? So what we can do here is like show you the potential, the power of modern visualization. And if you have more interest, there are some starting group. You can look for them. And there are some online course. You can like try to leverage them. Okay. Now this is for scatter plot. Okay. The scatter plot Sometimes we call them point plot. Sometimes we call them bubble plot. They are the same, right? See, so we can call them a point. We can call them a scatter plot. We can call them a bubble plot, but they are actually the same. Okay, and usually they are the most useful visualization tool, right? Because with that, you actually can compare multiple subjects and compare you can visualize multiple subjects and compare multiple attributes, right? You map the attribute to the x coordination, y coordination, the color, the size, the shape, right? So you can like compare at least 5 attributes at a time in one graph, right? Okay, but in order to do a good bubble plot, sometimes you will need to do some filtering, okay? Sometimes you will need to do some scaling, right? And most importantly, if you can do the scatter plot interactively, right? It would actually give you, first of all, when you zoom out, you can see the structure, right? And you can see the trend, right? For example, here you can see that the setosa is here, right? And you can see this structure when you zoom out. And when you zoom in, you can see the detail, right? You can see what is this point, what is this point, what is this point. Okay? So that's all I want to cover for scatter plot. Any question? Okay, we have 2 more type of chart to cover, right? Okay, besides scatter plot. Actually, with ggplot, you can do a lot of different charts. The second chart that I want to cover is bar plot. Okay, it's kind of like this. We see this a lot, right? In business presentation, we see this a lot. Okay, so in ggplot, there also has a set of tool to help us do a bar plot. Okay, so let me do a very quick introduction. Okay, so we have only like 3 minutes left. Okay, so bar plot is another. It's actually the second notebook we have this week, right? So actually in ggplot we have 3 different type of bar plot. Okay. Here we have a histogram. Okay. This plot is actually a histogram. Okay. This plot is a bar plot. Okay. And this plot is called column plot. Okay. So in ggplot there are 3 ways to make a bar plot. Okay. Histogram apply to numeric variables. Histogram, right? It applies to numeric variables. And see the year, right? The year is a numeric variable, right? So when you want to see the distribution of year, right? You use histogram. Okay? A line is actually a categorical variable, right? It's not numeric, it's categorical, right? So if you want to see the distribution of a categorical variable, you use bar plot. Okay? Now, so to do histogram, you actually just specify x, right? Year is the numeric variable, so we plot a histogram, isn't it? And a line is categorical, so we use bar plot. Okay? And there's a third kind of bar plot we call geom column. Okay, and if you want to, for histogram and for bar plot, they are doing distribution, which means that they just do the count, right? You plot a line as a bar plot. This is the count of bad people. This is the count of good people. This is the count of neutral people, right? They simply do the count. But sometimes you do not want to have the count. Sometimes you want to have the kind of like the average or mean or some other statistics, right? So you want to show, if what you want to visualize is not the count, but some statistics like average, like standard deviation, like whatever, right? If you do not want to display just the count, but some other statistics, you need to like calculate the statistic, right? By using dplyr, and then visualize the statistics with geom column. Right? There are three different types of way to generate. There are three different ways to generate bar plot in ggplot, and that is the first thing we need to know before using bar plot in the ggplot environment. Okay, let's take a 10 minutes break, and we'll continue that 11 to 10. Okay.